Why the USA cannot defeat Iran in a war today. On paper, it should be no contest. The United States, the most powerful military force in the history of human civilization, versus Iran, a nation under decades of sanctions with a fraction of America's defense budget. And yet, military strategists, historians, and intelligence analysts all agree on one thing. A war with Iran would not be a quick American victory. In fact, it could become America's greatest strategic disaster since Vietnam. Today, we break down exactly why, in 6 brutal, undeniable reasons. Number 1, the geography trap. The land itself is a weapon. Iran is roughly 3.5 times the size of Texas. It is not a flat desert like Iraq. It's a fortress of nature, surrounded by the Zagros and Alborz mountain ranges, acting as massive natural walls with thousands of hidden valleys and tunnels. Military analysts at the Observer Research Foundation note that Iran's terrain naturally lends itself to guerrilla warfare, exactly the kind of warfare that has bled the United States dry in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Vietnam. Nearly all of Iran's major population, centers and military installations are located deep in the north of the country. To reach them, any invading ground force would have to fight through hundreds of miles of mountains, deserts, and ambush corridors, each step a potential death trap. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, has spent 40 years preparing these exact landscapes for asymmetric warfare. Every mountain pass, every tunnel system, every urban center preloaded as a battlefield. Iran is not a country you invade. Iran is a country that swallows armies. Number 2, the missile arsenal. Iran's missiles change everything. Forget fighter jets. Forget naval fleets. Iran's most dangerous weapon is its missile program, and it is enormous. By early 2026, Iran's ballistic missile arsenal is estimated at over 2,500 missiles, the largest in the Middle East. These include medium-range ballistic missiles, capable of hitting any U.S. base in the region within minutes. And they don't just have quantity, they have precision. Iran's Shahab Fateh and Fatah hypersonic missile series represent some of the most sophisticated ballistic weapons in any non-nuclear state's arsenal. But the real game changer? Drones. Iran's Shahed drone program has flooded the battlefield, cheap, expendable, produced by the thousands. When fired in swarms, they overwhelm even the most advanced. American interceptor systems, draining billion-dollar defense batteries with $20,000 drones. In June 2025, Iran launched 137 missiles and 209 drones in a single coordinated strike across the UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, and Bahrain, targeting U.S. military bases simultaneously across 5 countries. Satellite imagery confirmed U.S. bases were left in ruins. The math is devastating for America. Every Iranian drone costs $20,000. Every U.S. interceptor missile costs $3 to $4 million. Iran can bankrupt the U.S. defense budget just by launching waves of cheap drones. 3. The Strait of Hormuz, the nuclear option for the global economy. Iran holds the world economy hostage, 21 miles wide at its narrowest point. And through those 21 miles flows 20% of all the world's oil supply. Iran's northern coastline commands the entire strait. Its anti-ship missile batteries, submarine fleet, and swarm boat tactics give Tehran the ability to close the strait within hours. What happens if the Strait of Hormuz closes? Oil prices don't just spike, they explode. Global markets collapse. Supply chains break. Inflation surges in every country on Earth. We've already seen the preview when Iran disrupted Hormuz shipping in early 2026. Brent crude surged over 19% in days. The Straits Times reported it was the biggest gas market shock since Russia's invasion of Ukraine. A full war doesn't just hurt Iran, it could trigger a global recession, and that's a weapon no missile defense system can stop. 4. The proxy network, war everywhere at once. Iran doesn't fight alone. This is the most underestimated dimension of any conflict with Iran. When you go to war with Iran, you don't fight one enemy. You fight a multi-front network stretching across the entire Middle East. Iran's axis of resistance, built over 40 years of patient investment, includes Hezbollah in Lebanon, 150,000 plus, rockets aimed at Israel and US bases in the eastern Mediterranean, a battle-hardened force that fought Israel to a standstill in 2006, the Houthis in Yemen, who have demonstrated the ability to strike targets thousands of miles away with drones and missiles, disrupting global shipping lanes through the Red Sea. Iraqi Shia militias, 100,000 plus, fighters with direct access to US troop positions in Iraq and Syria. Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad in Gaza. This is not a military, it's a spider web. Pull one thread and the entire web attacks simultaneously. American forces would be fighting on 5-6 fronts at once, across thousands of miles, with no clear front line. The LA Times described it plainly. Iran's proxies are the forces shaping Middle East conflicts, and none of them go home just because Tehran is bombed. Number 5, the lessons of history, America's graveyard of overconfidence. History is screaming a warning America keeps ignoring. The United States has the world's most powerful military, and yet, since World War II, America has never won a land war in Asia or the Middle East against a determined, motivated, asymmetric enemy. Korea, stalemate. Vietnam, defeat and withdrawal after 58,000 American deaths. Iraq entered in 2003 to cheers, left in chaos, having spent $2 trillion and lost nearly 4,500 soldiers, as while Iran actually gained influence in the country. Afghanistan, 20 years, 2.3 trillion. The Taliban returned to power within days of US withdrawal. Iran has studied every single one of these wars. Their military doctrine, called Mosaic Defense, is explicitly designed to replicate these outcomes: decentralized, dispersed, no single point of failure. Designed to absorb American airstrikes and respond with guerrilla counterattacks that bleed occupying forces over years and decades. The question was never, can America bomb Iran? Yes, clearly it can. The question is, then what? Because bombing Iran doesn't end the war. It starts one. Number 6, the nuclear shadow, the ultimate wild card. 6th, and perhaps most critically, the nuclear question. Before June 2025, Iran was enriching uranium to 60%. Purity, just steps away from weapons grade. 90%. US and Israeli strikes claim to have obliterated Iran's nuclear program. But here's the terrifying reality. Experts at Iran's war. Doctrine analysis published post-2025 warn that preemptive military action can delay but not destroy Iran's nuclear potential, and may even strengthen the argument for building the bomb. Iranian officials are now openly debating the security value of nuclear deterrence. The logic is simple. North Korea has nuclear weapons, and nobody invades. North Korea, Gaddafi gave up Libya's nuclear program and was overthrown. Saddam never had nukes and was executed. The lesson Iran may learn from this war is not stop pursuing nukes, but rather pursue them faster and hide them deeper. It cornered Iran, facing regime collapse, facing a full US invasion. What are they willing to do? That is the question no war planner has a clean answer to. So, can the US defeat Iran in a war? Militarily, the United States can absolutely devastate Iran, bomb its infrastructure, destroy its military assets, strike its nuclear sites. American air and naval power is in a different league. But defeating Iran, winning the war, achieving stable, lasting objectives? That's a completely different question, because victory in the modern age is not measured in bombs dropped or buildings destroyed. Victory is measured in political outcomes achieved, and no amount of firepower can buy political stability in a 90 million person nation with 2,500 years of civilizational pride, a battle-hardened military doctrine, a network of regional proxies, and the world's most critical oil choke point under its thumb. The United States learned this in Vietnam, learned it in Iraq, learned it in Afghanistan. Iran is harder than all three combined. The most powerful weapon in this conflict isn't a missile, a drone, or a nuclear bomb. It's wisdom. The wisdom to know that some wars, even wars you can start, are wars you cannot win. If this analysis made you think differently about the world, like, subscribe and share this video. Because understanding the world as it is, not as we wish it were, is the first step toward peace. See you in the next one.